There we go. Wait, it's always something. Hey, Cecilia, how you doing? I saw your Facebook post. Your mantle looked very pretty. Did you do it yet? Did you put the decorations up yet? Pardon my eating in front of you, but I have this brownie calling my name. I'm doing okay. Is there any lag in the stream? Because just before I went to go live, I had a problem with the internet. Oh, you haven't found? I try to keep everything in one box, and it's a box that's probably 40 years old. It's a Christmas box, and if I can't fit it in there, oh, okay, thank you, appreciate it. So this one box has all the decorations, all the all the holly and the lights and stuff, and if I can't fit it all into that one box, then I just tell myself you don't need it because you know how quickly that can get out of hand. So this year I went all out with the lights. I usually put up a string of blue lights on the railing outside on the porch, and the reason I started doing that was I've been doing my knitting, and it is under all of it. I need help to move that knit. Oh, well, it's going to take me about 5 hours to drive up there, Cecilia. And even if I do get to the border, they're not going to let me through because I don't have my papers. And so I put the blue lights out because when I first moved here about 20 years ago, my town was having this garish, I mean, really hideously ugly decorating competition in town, and people just went ballistic. So I put up the string of blue lights because blue around Christmas kind of signifies a religious connotation. And it's very muted. But this year, I don't put up a tree too much anymore because I it's just me and I'm never home enough. So I just the same with going down there. You need papers. Yeah, isn't it terrible? I know someone who just went to Canada and he went to Toronto and he absolutely loved it. And I said, yeah, Toronto's a beautiful city, but it's just a shame you had to get an experimental injection in order to go there. And he said with pride, well, at least I had the papers to get in. Oh boy, I'm telling you. That is why I put a small tree up because I am, but yeah, yeah, and especially if I'm going to be working a lot and I'm doing a lot of school, so I'm just not going to be in the living room, hanging out. I don't have TV, but I watch DVDs. I'm not going to be hanging out. It's not worth it. I have one of those old giant um, artificial Martha Stewart trees that I bought years ago. And I mean, the thing is a beast. And when it's completely decorated, it has to be tethered to the wall because my house is old and it's kind of on an angle. So I put lights up in the windows. I put some decorations up in the windows. I have a few other things around the house, candles and such. And then I have a Norfolk pine that has grown substantially over the years. And I just put a string of 35 lights in it. And I have a set of very tiny, lightweight decorations that I put on the tree, and I'm happy with that. And most of the time, and that's in the bedroom because that's the sunniest room, but most of the time I'm not even in there long enough to have the tree on. The kids were all over the place. One in Florida, oh, they are. One in Florida, one out west, and one north. Oh wow. Yeah, that there's a lot of country out west, up there in Canada. Well, there is here too, but there's a lot less populated Western country in Canada. It seems. Correct me if I'm wrong. So no one need me, so no need to bring out the big tree. Yeah, yeah. And if you're not going to spend time around it, I used to a lot. I used to have a lot of parties back in the day, but I haven't done that in a long, long time. When I first moved here, I used to entertain a lot. I used to get out my old 1960 Betty Crocker cookbook and come up with all kinds of jello molds and stuff, and people really liked them, and I really enjoyed doing them. Saskatoon for my son. Wow, that's a long way out there. We used to have a family that lived in Ontario. Back in the 80s, we used to go up and visit. But that was back before you needed any paperwork to get in. You could just drive across the border. Yeah, that's up there. Yeah, Manitoba. I just did a unit lesson for my classes about the Canadian weed management programs in Manitoba and Alberta. We're all part of it. Didn't talk to, yeah, the lessons talked about British Columbia too. I have a lot of decorations. I have a Christmas tree growing in the front. That's nice. I have lights for it, but on it, yeah, tell me about it. In fact, I thought I was going to have to wear my hat and my scarf during the live stream because I've been keeping the heat down. This is the first time in my life I've ever done this, where things are so, it's not so much my income, it's that we don't know where the gas prices are going to go. The oil prices are going to go because I mean it's just been steadily going up. It's kind of hovering at a certain price right now, but I just bought oil at a sort of decent price. But next time I need it could be way, way out of my reach. So turning the heat off when I go to work. So the house is set at 52 all day long, sometimes 9, 10 hours. So when I get in, it's a little chilly. And then when I do turn it up, I only turn it up to about 60, which means the room temperature has to get down to about 58, 57, which is pretty chilly. But you know what? You get used to it. You prepare. I used a heating pad sometimes to warm up the bed before I get in, and then I take it out, and sometimes I wear a half bed. But it's in the back of my mind that central heating uh, put an end to whooping cough. So you don't want to make yourself sick either. It's not worth it, and that's not what we're here for. We should be able to enjoy ourselves. There shouldn't be an issue. I had to stop working when I broke my arm, and that has not healed. Yeah, Hmm. Let's see. So it's type and using my savings. Most of my money is good. Um, what's going what's going on with the arm, Cecilia? If you don't mind my asking, why isn't it? I mean, I can come up with some some reasons why, physiologically, but I mean, it's making it difficult for you right now to do stuff, and I understand that, but is it possible that you can get a hold of some really good grass-fed bone broth? I mean, there's a huge amount of gelatin and all kinds of great stuff in there. Keep everything nice and loose and help everything heal up. Or if you could, this is a cheap cut of meat, cross cuts or shanks. I eat those a lot because I'm out on my feet an awful lot in the field. So I get these cross cuts or shanks and they have the bone in it. It's the leg. It's a cut off the leg. And I just put it in the crock pot and it's loaded with fat. Don't be afraid of fat. Fat is your friend. And it's got the marrow in the bone. It's got all the fat. And sometimes I just use, I put enough water in there when I cook the cross cuts, and then I've got a type of bone broth. It's not ideal, but it's better than nothing. It's not like 32 hours that it's cooked type of bone broth, but it's still really good. I have a cold bedroom, so I do not mind the cold. Yeah, well, oops, that was my phone. Sorry about that. Well, you're better off. You don't want to be too hot when you sleep. That's not good. And I have my blankets I make. Oh yeah, yeah. So load them down and toast your room. You got that right. I've got tons and tons of blankets. Some of them my mom made. But most of them I either inherited from somebody or I picked them up along the way. I don't throw out any of them. They even if they're threadbare, I don't care because they still come in handy. You broke your arm 3 years ago and it was nuts. Ah, jeez. And too late to go back and fix it. The surgeon said that it might make it worse. Yeah, and a surgeon, if anybody's going to tell you the truth, a surgeon will. Because he's got to know everything before he cuts into somebody. He said it might make it worse. And with the walker and everything else, had to stop working. Damn, Cecilia, I am sorry. I have the heat on for my plants. Yeah, I'm a little worried about my plants. I have a bedroom full of plants because I have a big picture window in there. And I'm a little concerned about the cold bothering them. But so far, they seem to be doing okay. But it hasn't, it's been in the 20s, but not for a long enough period where, I mean, that it'll penetrate to the point where you've got to keep the heat up higher than 52. Otherwise, I would not put on the heat, but it has been cold. Yeah, want to avoid that whooping cough. How is the cold with your arm? Does it affect it one way or the other? I wonder if the cold might tighten it up. Well, you say you sleep in a cold bedroom and you don't mind, so I'm assuming that it doesn't really bother it too much. Painful. It makes the fibro act up. You mean fibromyalgia? You know what fibromyalgia is? Fibro is muscle. Myalgia means pain. It's an overall umbrella term that doctors use when they don't know exactly what's happening. I mean, anybody can have fibromyalgia. Anybody can have muscle pain. But where is it coming from? That's the problem with the medical community. They don't tell you. They don't tell you the cause. It's really hard to find a good doctor. If you can find one that's over 60 who's still practicing, in the States who doesn't take insurance, because if they stop taking insurance, that means that they have negated their responsibility to the AMA, which basically cuts them off from the AMA's restrictions. So then they can actually cure. They can actually get right to the root cause if they know what they're doing. But there are too many who don't, because you know the name of the game. It's money, money, money. And every time you go back to it, the sickest people I know go to doctors. The sickest people I know have insurance. I don't have any insurance. I got rid of mine. I remember back in the day I had Cobra, and the economy was good, so I could afford like $500 a month. I didn't mind. I used it a few times, but I didn't really need it. And then Bush got in, and I went down to, what was it, catastrophic, to save money, because it became astronomically expensive and the economy started to slip away from us and get really bad. And I just never picked it up. But I did a lot of stuff. I had to do a ton of studying on my own, and I'm still studying. I'm actually studying formally now, nutritional therapy. I figured I might as well get my certification in licensing, because I've already done so much on my own. But I found out there's an awful lot of if you go the nutritional route, you're betting on the right horse. I have a lot of nerve pain, and I could get really hurt just being hugged. Oh, you can't live like that. I took your advice and got the K. Yeah, the K2 with the MK7. That's one vitamin that we are terribly depleted in. I mean, we just don't get enough of it for either malabsorption reasons, or if you, again, a lot of it has to do with budget. But if you're eating out of the supermarket, you're not getting readily absorbable vitamin K2. And that's the one that, helps the teeth, the hair. That's the one that moves the calcium out of the joints and the nerves and your muscles, and puts it into your nails, your teeth, your hair, your eyes. For years and for decades, we have been low. All of us have been low in vitamin K2. And I mean, you can hear it in just some of the things you say. Like, I can use my teeth to open a beer bottle, and it doesn't affect them because they're so strong. But I can remember hearing people say, if they saw you do, oh, don't do that, you might break a tooth. There was once a time we were eating nails, and our teeth were just fine. Yeah, you gotta keep up with the vitamin K. You gotta keep it coming in. I got the moringa plant, and it's dormant and trying to keep the roots going. I got more. Oh, moringa? What is moringa again? I believe I remember you mentioning that once. I'm just gonna do a little lookup here. Moringa plant. Moringa Italiana. Italian meringue. Moringa. Okay, need to tell a little bit more. Here we go. Here it is. Moringa. Right? Is it Moringa? So got a bunch of ads. Also called the drumstick tree. Fast growing, drought resistant tree. More benefits than any store-bought vitamin. Yeah, I was just talking to my neighbor because he's still looking for answers. And, I could talk, you can lead a horse to water. But I told him, here's one tip. When you walk into a grocery store where the vitamins are, or a natural food store, whatever you see at eye level, that's the junk. That's all the garbage. Don't buy any of that stuff. We shouldn't have to take vitamins anyways, but we've kind of been led into a nutritional trap that we kind of have to figure out our own way through. What is it good for? It has important vitamins and minerals. The leaves have 7 times more vitamin C. Yeah, we could use that because absorbic acid is not vitamin C. It's a lab-made chemical that causes more harm than good. It also has protein in it and is also used as a food source. No kidding. 15 times more potassium. Yep, we could use vitamin C, potassium, and more magnesium. Keep people nice and calm, especially where I live. Oh my goodness, the driving has gotten terrible around here. You got to be really careful. I mean, it's so bad. You know how you'll pull out, you'll be waiting to pull out somewhere, and somebody will say, somebody will wave you on. Well, now what they're doing is they're waving you on, and then they're flooring it when you pull out. So I don't let anybody. And not to mention they're telling you how to drive. I mean, if they've got the right of way, just go. Fill in the space at the light. Don't sit back 150 yards just because I'm trying to make a left out onto a busy road. I'll figure it out. Yeah, Moringa looks like a good one. Moringa oleifera is a plant that is often called the drumstick tree, the miracle tree, the Ben oil tree, or the horseradish tree. That's interesting. This is through medicalnewstoday.com. I take a lot of vitamins, so trying to get off of them. That is why the Moringa. Yes, yeah. I mean, if you can, sure. There's no reason that. I mean, when you're taking all those vitamins, that's no different than I go into my friend's house and they've got those big plastic containers that's like a month's worth of pharmaceutical pills, and it doesn't seem to be doing them much good. They're always at the doctor, but yeah, if you can find, I'm gonna have to write that down now that we're on the subject. Let's see if I can find a piece of scrap paper. I use my bank receipts for scrap paper. Man, look at that. What a waste. That's it. And then I got all that room to write notes down on. I usually have a notepad, but I filled that up and then I went through it, took out what I needed, and I never replaced it. Shared on FB, hoping more. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this was another kind of last minute thing, and I have better service now, but I kind of got thrown a little bit when I went to go on before, and I was told I had no internet connection, so I had to tether it to the phone. I might have used up all my data. That might be what the problem is, because I've been using it a lot. But as long as it'll tether to the phone, it'll work. Yeah, I put this up. Must have been 2:30 or so, and the picture that I chose for it is might be a little confusing. I should have did a little bit more work on that. I was actually on the road when I did that. I stopped to get gas when I did it. It's just a last minute thing. And of course the phone rings. Here, no bank statements, it's all emails. Yeah, they want us to do the same thing. They want to make everybody digital so they can keep an eye on every little thing we do. I mean, they have anyways. So if you want paper, you have to pay extra for it for the last few years. Huh. What are they doing in the stores with the plastic bags? Did they outlaw them there too? Because I can remember back in the 80s, they switched to the plastic bags because, well, all the trees were being cut down to make plastic bags, to make paper bags. And now and then we had the plastic for a long time, and that was supposed to save all the forest. And then last year they went ballistic on it and said, well, we can't use plastic anymore. And now they're all back to paper. Makes absolutely no sense. Everything up here is going paperless. I do not like it. I agree. I like paper. I like writing out checks. I like putting a stamp. I feel like it becomes more yours. It's some electronic, digital, whatever, which can have all kinds of problems and screw things up, isn't part of the equation when you do it on paper. Yes, the mail might make a problem, but not usually. But some companies That is all they have. Yeah, yeah, same here. I do my phone, my internet bill online because you get like a $10 discount. And now because I changed services, I see something a little bit different. And you get like an extra 10% off your bill for going paperless. Plastic bags are 5 cents each. I have reusable ones only if I do not have enough. I'll buy one or two. Yeah, but you get a lot of yeah, right? I mean, come on. It's you got to be brain dead not to see the contradiction in all this. It's crazy. Makes no sense. I don't know if you remember the TV show Real People. Maybe it was only in the States. I don't know. It's pretty popular. But they would have stories, interesting stories on about different people and the things that they did. And there was this one guy who would save up his junk mail all year and he would burn it in his wood burning stove. He would roll it and make little logs. And that's what he used to heat his home. And he didn't have to worry about paying for oil, that's for sure, or gas. But then back then it was all paper. I mean, it was paper, fat. You could feel the fibers in it and such. But now you get a lot of junk mail that's shiny with the heavy duty ink on it, and they say that's as bad as burning treated wood with the fluorocarbons that come off of it. Oh, and if you're wondering, Nadilg Llawan is Welsh for Merry Christmas. Like I said, I was kind of like on the run. I was like, oh, I feel like doing a live stream tonight. I could use a little break and see what people are doing. So I just kind of threw that up there. And the junk mail is from the companies that I would want to pay. Yeah. Yep. See, they think they're fooling us. But we know. And they keep trying and they keep trying because they're hoping that eventually we're going to just give up and become compliant. There are some things you need to be compliant with. But I mean, when it comes to a scam like this, give me a break. I have a farmer in upstate New York who I used to go to, one of a few, to get my meat and my eggs and charcuterie and things like that. All grass-fed, pasture-raised, great stuff. You'd see the red Devon cows out in the field when you pulled up to go buy from the farm store. And then, what was it, last summer? He was robbed, and now he says they said you could only use Venmo, Venmo, which I really didn't want to use, and or you could leave a paper check. And I'm like, well, if somebody's robbing the place, then they're going to have everybody's routing number. So, what the heck goes there? It's really a shame because my other farmer, who's maybe 8 miles up the road from him, he's never had a problem. But this one who did get robbed, he's in like on an old industrial park road. So maybe it was, I don't know, maybe some kids went down there, and the Walkill River and a parking area, unofficial parking area, is down along that way. So maybe the kids went down there and they started scoping out the farm and said, well. So, but this happened in daylight hours because last year with Hoaxid, he started closing at 5 o'clock. He used to be open 24/7, like my other farmer, who's just up the road from him. My other farmer, who's just up the road from him, is still open 24/7. As a prep, I am keeping some of the paper that is not coded. Yeah, good idea. I have some really, really old newspaper, like old New York Times, the old-fashioned broadsheet. You opened it up and you need like half the kitchen table to read it because it was so huge. Now all the newspapers look like the Enquirer or some kind of a gossip rag, because they're trying to save paper and not cut down trees, but yet they're sending out all the junk mail. Junk mail. Yeah, I heard that in Oh God, California. Talk about a bunch of crazy people. California people are being robbed of their food, either as they come out of the store or being followed home and taken there as. Huh. You know what? I I listened to Peggy Hall's The Healthy American. She lives out in California. She started last year explaining the law to people about how unlawful this whole hoaxed thing is and the whole pandemic thing is. And it is. It's disaster fraud on many, many levels. And she hasn't said anything about that. She's usually up on the news too when it comes to that, because if it involves, the situation, and I mean, everything she's finding is legit. And if she can find a law to protect somebody, she will definitely make a video about it. YouTube is climbing up her backside about it, though. I'm surprised she hasn't been taken off YouTube. But the reason she still survives on YouTube is because she just changes words. She's not. What is she doing? She's not giving lawful advice as in a role of a lawyer, but what she's doing is she's teaching people about the law. So she uses, instead of saying, how does she say it, for like for I call it the muzzle. She calls it the mistake or something like that, and then she just, she kind of gets people used to. So as you listen to her, you get used to her code words, because certain code words will get her kicked off. But if she changes them, then they don't pick up on it. So let's see, California of groceries. Let's see if that comes up. Did you know that you can get a better search out of Google if you put everything in parentheses or quotation marks? You'll actually get the information you need. Okay, here's one from Sacramento. An elderly woman robbed in South Sacramento supermarket parking lot. Here's another one from the Los Angeles newspaper. Two women robbed at 99 Ranch Supermarket in San Gabriel. Grocery stores are pushing California to be tougher on crime. Here's why. This was September 16, 2020. Gang of 80 thieves ransacked California Nordstrom store in organized raid. That was November 21st, 2021. 80 looters ransacked the Nordstrom California-based store. The brazen robbery comes as Bay Area businesses reduce their hours. California is going ballistic on this. They are just having a psychotic heyday. I thought you guys have freedom of... Yeah, well, not really. It depends on whose platform you're using. Oh, yeah, they've been breaking the law about that down here too. I mean, granted, YouTube is its own publisher. Facebook is, Instagram, which is bought by Facebook. It's owned by an individual. I see Reddit just went public. They got on the stock market recently. I don't know that much about the law, but I know if like, say I created a social media platform and I was the publisher, I couldn't tell people exactly what to say, but just like in YouTube, they have certain guidelines. But it should only be, hey, Raquel, how are you? Hey, I got two Canadians. Hey, I'm Canadian. That's one of my nationalities. I hear a lot of, yeah, I went on to Rumble too, and I made some money on there. It was really cool, but I keep forgetting to get on there. I keep forgetting to upload, because they have like 4 different choices for I guess for copyright or ownership of, how the video is, who's in charge of, what is it called? I can't think of the word. You know what I'm talking about. And I would kind of like go between the first, second, and the third, and Sometimes it was more convenient because there's one for YouTube. Rumble will do all the work, but then they'll also put it on YouTube. But and then I would just do Rumble only, and then I would get involved with YouTube and forget to do Rumble. Yeah, yeah. My mother's side of the family, they actually came from France. The last name was Milady. That's my mother's family. Mother's family. That's my grandmother's family on my mother's side. And then they had moved to Canada eons ago. So we've got some of that going on too. So a little French Canadian. I'm also Dutch, Irish, Welsh, hence the name of the live stream. Welsh, Dutch, Irish, Welsh, English. What's the other one? Canadian, Dutch, Irish, Welsh, English. There's 6 of them, and damn if I can remember. It'll take me a few minutes. Maybe I need to write it down. Let's see. Dutch, Irish, Welsh, English. Oh, French. Duh, we're also French. In fact, my confirmation name is Marguerite. That was Grandma's first name. We're also French Huguenots, too. Not that I'm all that proud of that. I'm still trying to figure out what happened to my internet connection earlier. All of a sudden, my phone was working fine, but my tablet, I think I blew through my data already because I've been on the internet using it for my schoolwork. So yeah, my 2 middle names, my christening name and my confirmation name is Elizabeth Marguerite. And not to sound pretentious or conceited or anything, but I always thought that would be a nice name for a boat. Girlfriend I grew up with, you ready for this? Her name is Drina Maria Anita Teresina. That's a real name. That's a real person. It is going crazy here too. That is why I have an alarm system and lots of arrows in the bow. Isn't this ridiculous? I know you laugh a little bit, Cecilia, but we should not be living like this. Not in this day and age. I mean, my goodness, this is not the Wild West, for God's sakes. It's like friggin' Dodge City out there. It's just getting ridiculous. And I don't live too far from one of the most dangerous towns in New York State. And I know there's a lot of poor up there. There's a lot of dirty ghettos, a lot of drugs. In fact, I knew an FBI agent years ago who was on a sting who was trying to get a rocket launcher out of the Spanish ghetto in this town that's like 5-6 miles just north of me. But I know how they must sit up there in those ghettos, and it's kind of up on a hill. And if you look south, you can see my town. And the town I live in is storybook, fairy tale-ish. It's beautiful. And a lot of city people live here, and the taxes are high. And I know they're looking down, and they're saying if the SHIT really hits the fan, that's where we're going. What do you mean, Raquel? It's going crazy here. No, I think what Cecilia is talking about, Raquel, crazy being just a lot of the people are just ransacking and robbing each other. People are starting to go stir crazy from all of this pandemic hoaxed nonsense. It's not healthy. None of this is. And me being 60 miles from the city, I'm going to choose my words very carefully here. I have quite a few friends who are nurses in the city. Sloan Kettering, Columbia U, Pace. Last year, when the news was telling everybody how the cadavers were stacking up, that wasn't happening. Nothing was happening. They were sitting around the break room, leaning up against the nurse's station counter with nothing to do. Toronto, I'm at the edge of a not so nice area. It is getting better, but 10 miles down. Not, well, at least you got 10 miles is better than the 5 I've got. Yeah, they're real close. The city I'm talking about is Newburgh, New York. All you got to do is Google that, Newburgh, New York, and the crime is horrendous. More killings happening. We beat last year's record back, and oh, damn. I am sorry to hear that. Wow. It almost sounds like that part of Toronto and Newburgh are like, Newburgh is like its less successful brother. Oh, you have 80 acres, Raquel? Oh, man. That is so. Every time somebody says pew pew, I think of church. I know what it means. Yeah, that's the problem here. Hey, Greg, how you doing? We're talking about crime in Canada. And Rolling with Raquel has 80 acres to relax on and be a normal human being. Man, that must be nice. If I had to use a gun here, now I've used the 22 just in the yard for groundhogs and such. Didn't have to this past year. I have tried shooting chipmunks with them, but man, that takes a lot of time and a lot of accuracy. Hey, Morgan, how are you? Thanks for coming in. We were talking about the crime in Toronto and Newburgh, New York. But if I were to get the shotgun out, if I had to use it, like say, we've got coyote coming through the yard, my neighbor's wife comes in late, if I ever hear her scream or something, I had to go out there to help protect her, and I had to shoot a coyote to save a human life, I would be looking at fines up the wahoo like you wouldn't believe. And I would be very lucky not to lose my hunting license for it. Was cheap as borscht too. What are we talking about? 15 years ago, I paid $65K. Oh, okay. And got the land and a rundown trailer. Did you keep the trailer or did you get rid of it, Raquel? Did you build something else? I need to watch your videos again. I've been buried in schoolwork. I've been living as a trapper vicariously through Judith and Dan Davis. If you don't have their channel, check them out. But Dan's been out trapping up a storm, and right, Gio? He was in this really weird area where he was trying to get some beaver out of it. And he had all the sign in the world. And when he first got in there, he was like, yeah, man, jackpot, jackpot. And he goes in, what was this, like 2 weeks ago? And nothing was happening. Everything was bypassing his traps. And he's like, man, this place has got some bad medicine or something. I was really feeling for him. Jeez. Sorry about that. He's like, man, this place has got some bad medicine or something. I was really feeling. I'm still trying to learn all this stuff here. My new devices. I'm just trying to put up a link for Judith and Dan Davis. He's doing good now. He went to another area. And the trapping is good. Greg, how's your back doing, man? I hope you're feeling better. Oh, I'm spelling that wrong. I can't see it. Judith and Dan Davis. Yeah, there you go. Check that out. Hey, Heath, how are you? Okay. Everyone wants out of the city. Yeah, same here, Cecilia. Last year, there's always been mass exoduses out of New York City. I mean, I remember back in the 70s, everybody was running away from Staten Island, and we were turning into a bedroom community. And then that was the 70s, 80s. We had more people come up, and then it kind of got quiet. And there's always new people coming into my area. I mean, 60 miles from New York City, it's going to be that way. I would love to get out to the country and have city when all this happened. But yeah, the real estate market is unbelievable. I mean, old 1980s houses like or 1970s split levels and buy levels are going for $600,000. And you know what? They might get it. Maybe not 600,000, but they might get 450 for some crappy pile of junk like that. Did that come out right? Doesn't look right on here, but it looks right on the phone. Hi, Gio. I forgot your first name. Gio's first name is Greg. Greg the man. Have you been out hunting, Heath or Greg? I haven't. It's been 3 weeks, and I'm really starting the Jones. Milk my trailer. It's worth $1 million one day. Oh, so Raquel, are you saying you did keep the trailer, the rundown trailer? Yeah, but if it's worth $1 million one day, then I mean that would be awesome. But you'd have to like go down from there because then everything else is going to be $1 million or more. But the day is coming. That day is coming, and they're putting up. How I see building and construction. There's road work still going on. I'm happy to see that, even with Mr. Potato Head in the White House. And there's a lot going on. I mean, they're putting in houses where I never thought they'd put them before. And up behind the house where my trail cam pictures come from, they're putting up a house back there. And I had just put up, it's not that close to it. It's like, how far would it be? Maybe about 200 yards away. It's far enough away, but it's along that same railroad bed. So that might cause a little disturbance there. Hey, Al's in here. How you doing, man? It's good to see you. I was just talking about my trail cam, and they put up a house along the animal corridor. And yes, you were absolutely correct, Al. That was a 3-legged coyote in that last trail cam video I put up. Because I haven't been able to make a video about any more bugs or anything. I put up for tomorrow. I'm putting up an extended version of some new pics, and I went on what do you call it? One of those video makers, KindMaster, and there were so many amazing pictures that showed deer and fox interspecies relations, sort of. Not nothing porno and nothing weird, but just some interactions that were very, very interesting. And I thought, well, if I pick and choose, I have like 800 pictures from the trail cam. And no, it's not a video. It's a very cheap low-end Tasco that's pretty good. I'm happy with it. Yeah, because I switched to Verizon now. I had enough with Sprint and T-Mobile. T-Mobile should just plain get out of the FCC should just tell them to get out of the communications business because they're nothing. They're terrible. So yeah, so there's a video that's coming out tomorrow morning. It's the only one I've got. I went on KindMaster and I put like, I don't know, 600 of them together. It's almost like looking at a flip book, but I sped it up as quickly as I could. And some of this behavior with the deer is really cool. The 3-legged coyote did not show up, but in this video tomorrow that's coming out with the trail cam pics, there is another gorgeous coyote. And I wish I could trap back there, but the problem is the neighbor's dogs are always getting out. And, I watch you guys. Gio, did you change your name again? I can still find you through your old name, which is kind of interesting. As long as I can find you, that's all that matters. I don't care how often you change your name. Hey, Tom Ritter. How are you doing? Nice, Craig. Where the fuck? Get out. Got to get the flintlock out and get it ready for the 27th. Okay, what am I missing? What's going on the 27th? I was out the second, but since then I buggered. Yeah, I know your back has really been giving you hell. I'm so sorry about that. Going out tomorrow for last day of rifle. We have 2 more days left, and then they're going to do a holiday hunt for a week, for the week of Christmas and New Year's. And so far, only Erie County has vetoed out of that. I just got my New York Outdoor News. Favorite newspaper. Nice looking fox there, huh? Look at that. Oh, and this is a very sad story. Unfortunately, we had a fatality in a deer stand this season. The hunter was up in a deer and up in the tree in this deer stand, and somebody shot the poor guy, and he died. Unbelievable. And they're saying it's because he wasn't wearing fluorescent clothing. Well, I'm sorry, but somebody's up in a deer stand. You don't freaking shoot them, you moron. Get out of the woods. Get rid of the gun. Don't ever buy another hunting license again. And don't ever think about hunting. In fact, just stay home and become a couch potato. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Erie County. Oh no, I was wrong about that with the holiday hunt. That's the junior hunting bill that Erie County in New York State vetoed out of. Sorry about the light, but I couldn't read anything. Let me see if I can move you. Oh, that's one of my pastels back there, and that's one of my paintings, and that's a funky outlet right there. Just don't touch it. It's okay. I've never been shocked by it. What's going on? The house next door was taken down and rebuilt. They want. Are you kidding me, Cecilia? Oh my God. $159.9 million for it, and trying to get the flipper to cover the damage done to mine. Yeah, well, that would be nice. I remember you were talking about that. That was just ridiculous. Okay, I kind of fell behind here. Heath, are you saying you were out rabbit hunting? You know, my final for this semester is coming up in a couple of days, and my homework for the end of this unit is almost done. I would love to get out. Doing better, but I have been back to work for the last 3 days. Oh yeah, so now you're bouncing around that truck. I tell you what, nothing injures the back more than having to sit in a truck like that all day. Because as you well know, even with lumbar support, it is not the most comfortable ride at all. Okay, I'm just trying to catch up, guys. Long Beach Island in New Jersey is getting like that with the price of Cecilia. I mean, it's just crazy. I used to see just, Toyotas and Hondas and whatever down there. Now you see nothing but Mercedes-Benz and oops, I'm pressing stuff and I don't mean to. Sorry about that, Al. I was a second. Okay. I'm way behind right now. I've got one coyote so far, but I'm not seeing much sign. Oh, that stinks. Have you guys watched Mark J. Larson? Woo, boy, man. I'm so excited for him. I think he got his 11th coyote. 11. Man is doing a bang-up job. Archery comes back, then also opening day. Okay, gotcha, Greg. Gotcha. Okay, on the 27th. Very, very cool. I'm still not outfitted to do a big game. I'm still going after the little buggers, but there's nothing wrong with that. Hello, Ray. How are you doing? I was thinking about you all day today. I hope you're feeling better. 5 rabbits. Oops, I'm pressing buttons again. I don't mean to, guys. Sorry. I'm still new to this stuff. I've done, what, 5 live streams? I'm still, like, retarded. Let me try Dr. O. Matchney. It works. What is that? Cecilia? Cecilia always comes up with stuff, man. And then I lose track of the not anybody's live stream because I'm always looking up the stuff that she mentions. Hey, it's good to learn. I still have the information written down about the the comfrey seeds. And I think that was like months ago. Dr. Ho Machny? Am I saying that right? Machny. Yeah, for back pain. Dr. Ho Machine. Oh, okay, it was kind of a typo. Oh, that stuff always works. You know what I use? I have a friend who is a martial artist. He's like a ninth or 10th degree ninja. I mean, the guy is absolutely lethal. Sweetheart of a guy, though. And he makes his own Chinese herbs for, iron fist because they're always, I mean, Christ, they practice on concrete. And whenever I have a problem, I use that and I heat the area up first. And then I put those herbs on there. Sorry about that glare, folks. Oh, Becca. Hi, Becca. How are you? Going to be nice weather next week, so I am going to go. That sounds nice. Yes, you know what I really like about small game? You can wear your jeans and, maybe some camo and a cool cap and make sure you have your orange on or your bright pink, whatever. So nobody shoots you, especially where I am on the state land. But it's just a little more relaxed. You don't have to be so still. Because the thing about archery season that always got me was you're in ninja mode the whole time. And then some guy comes along wearing blue jeans during regular season. He's wearing blue jeans and sneakers and a Marlboro cap or whatever, and he gets that 8-pointer. He said he got 5 rabbits. That makes a nice meal, man. For me, that would be probably 2 in the crock pot and 3 in the freezer for later. Going to be nice. Yeah, it is going to be nice, Greg. We're going to be getting some of that same nice weather. It's not going to be. I got to say though, this November was cold, a lot colder than what we're used to. When I was growing up, we had snow on Halloween, but of course, global warming. Would anybody like to buy a bridge? It's fluctuation and it happens all the time. Yeah, beautiful weather coming. What is this? Oh, that's yeah. Oh, I'm pressing buttons again. Sorry, guys. Yep, that'll be nice on oil. We were talking about oil earlier, and I was freezing because lately with the cold weather, because it could go from the 20s one day to 60, and then it'll drop back down to the 20s again. But I'm leaving the heat off for like 8, 9, sometimes 10 hours a day. Well, not off. I got it set at 52. But you know yourself. I mean, even if you come from the upper Midwest, it takes a lot to freeze a house. I'm trying to scroll here without pressing buttons. Don't go in as yeah. I used to use the chair climber with Charlie. Oh, Burnaby's here. Hi, Burnaby. I almost missed you. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. So if anybody's wondering, Nadilg Llawan is Welsh for Merry Christmas. And like I was telling Cecilia earlier, I was on the run for work at about 2 o'clock and I stopped for gas. And I was thinking about doing a live stream because I've had my head in the books for so long. I just wanted something different to do with the computer. And I just kind of, after I pumped my gas, I got back in my car and I just, punched it in to the phone and just picked that picture. And I just thought it was a really pretty picture. I did it again. Yes, massage. I'm feeling better. I'm still in the hospital till I see more doctors. All right, Ray. I hope these doctors have some answers for you. I want to see you get better. Tom said, coyotes, not bad. Don't touch anything. How good is a coyote to eat? Yeah, I kind of hold off if I don't have to, I hold off on eating a predator. Um, Too much of an opportunist. Yeah, kind of like a bear. Like the last bear roast that I had was a bear that was taken up in the Catskill Mountains. The Catskills are more populated than most people think they are, but this one was, it probably did like a 20-mile radius its whole life. I mean, way, way, way up above the Ashokan Reservoir, up by, yeah, Ashokan, Phoenicia area, Windham, Windham, New York, Esopus, and they get into that garbage. You just got to cook it real good, but trichinosis is always on my mind when it comes to stuff like that. And it's like crow. You know, we've got tons and tons of crows around here, but there's too many garbage cans. I don't want to end up with that problem. Yes, I know, cook it well, but I think he's got more than 11. He's just making his way. Oh, yeah, right, Al. Yeah, I see your point. I am so excited for him. I was saying earlier, I've been trapping vicariously through Dan Davis, and boy, he had a weird situation in that one area he was in. Man, that was like bad juju there or something. But he's catching them now. Okay, Raquel, you probably left already, but thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Always appreciate the support. All right, what am I missing now? Greg, you have comfrey. Yeah, comfrey's a good one. Add some coconut oil with it and let it sit, and then apply to your back. What is it? Not arsenic. Oh, geez, I can't remember the name of it. Inversion tables are cool. They do work wonders. I used to stand on my head. If I could lose 20 pounds, because I don't need this extra 20 pounds, I'm just carrying it around like a freaking beach ball. I would be standing on my head again. But the inversion table is better because it takes the pressure. There's really no pressure point. Like all your weight is on your head. I know what you meant, Al. Oh, hey, Al, how you making out with the poachers? Is that still an issue down there? I know they had you hot to trot, and I don't blame you. That talk about rude. People just don't care. You know what we have around here? Because I'm so close to the city, antlers in the last few years have become like the new super supplement. And so you'll find people who, if there's a buck dead on the side of the road, they'll just cut the head off. In fact, I'm pretty sure Cody from After Five had that problem about a month ago when he was out on the beat. What am I thinking of? Good painkiller. Inversion tables are cool. Yeah, they really are, Greg. That they just it's almost like an inversion table. Almost like it puts everything back into place. Not just your joints and your bones and stuff, but your organs. It just kind of puts them back in that peritoneal sac a little more neatly. This screen this is a brand new tablet, and the screen is very sensitive. So if I put somebody in a timeout, it was completely an accident. Good night, Tom. Thanks for coming in. Oh, it's a big investigation. I guess they have been spotlighting. Man, jeez Louise. That's terrible. The Fish and Game Club here in town, back in the 70s and 80s, probably 60s too. Those guys used to hunt 365 days a year, night or day. They were famous. The old boys club, they were famous for truck hunting. It was terrible. A lot's changed though. because a lot of the city people came up, and that's been going on for years. That's nothing new here, but they got interested, and now they've got lawyers in there and club members, and who own land up in like Fairbanks, Alaska, and so there's a little more. It's not the outlaw club that it used to be. It's it they have they have a few more higher standards now than they used to, but you never saw deer when I was growing up around here, and back then we had more wilderness than we had a lot more hell of a lot more wilderness than we do now, and a lot less people living here. But in the late 60s and 70s, you never saw it. You didn't see a deer unless a guy went up to the Adirondacks or New England or Pennsylvania, and that was the only time you saw them because everybody hunted them out, and you never saw dogs either, ever. Coyotes. Stacy gives her dogs antlers. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if they could, they would. I think the Chinese and the Koreans from New York City would cut the heads off when the velvet's still on there. I think while it's growing, it has more potency. So far, I have not heard any reports of that. I'm not as in the loop with that sort of thing like I used to. I still know the retired forest manager of the forest preserve here, but I haven't talked to him lately. But yeah, that's an issue because the antlers are a big super supplement now. I mean, they have been probably for centuries and eons, but all of a sudden it's come back into a trendy way. So that's really a shame that you got to do that. I remember Steve, the huntsman, last year. I mean, he was finding evidence of total massacres on this property that he was keeping an eye on that one buck. And I think the buck disappeared, and I think it was poached, which is really a shame. Oddly enough, the state land that I hunt, the original one, the one that's closest to my house, has not had too many problems. It has been very, very quiet. In fact, I had to drive past there today, and of course the gate, I had the gate open until December 31st. And I slowed down, I looked down, like, oh, I wish I had my gun. I could just make a left and head down the hill. And it was so quiet. There wasn't a soul in the parking lot. I couldn't go in. But main ingredient Viagra is reindeer velvet. No kidding. I didn't know that. Huh. I've heard a lot of stories about Viagra, but that's interesting, Al. Hmm. Well, it's got to suck to get that reindeer velvet. It's got to suck real bad for the reindeer. That's a shame. So if anybody's interested, I don't know what picture came up. I put up a picture of the Edmondson House from last year for this live, and that was dessert with the Edmondsons. The Edmondson House is a house that was built by James and Margaret Edmondson. They were an Irish immigrant family who built that house in 1723. And it's I'm part of the National Temple Hill Association, which is a historical association in my area, which includes Washington's headquarters, which is the Hasbrook House in Newburgh. That was his last headquarters. The New Windsor Cantonment, which was the last cantonment of the Continental Army after the Revolutionary War up until about 1983. And let's see. Oh, Knox's headquarters, which was, of course, Knox was our big artillery man during the Revolutionary War. And his headquarters was not far from here at the Ellison's house. And and then there's the very humble, historic Edmondson House. And James Edmondson had a lot to do with George Washington when they were here for the last cantonment. Well, no, not James. His son William did, and he used to. He actually, it was actually his land, I believe, that he allowed George Washington and the last Continental Army to encamp on. And he showed him around the area, showed him where the springs were and stuff like that. And the heck was, oh yeah, the picture for the live stream. That's the original house that was built in, well, it was a cabin in 1723, and then over the years, up until about 1750, it became a much bigger stone house. And in 2019, a cook joined the ranks of the members, and he did this fantastic 18th century dessert display that was just to die for. He had syllabus and everything there. And I just thought it was a nice, warming picture on a raw, weirdly raw, cold December night. But the Edmondson House is very special, and they just voted me in as a trustee. I've been a supporter of theirs for a while now, and so now I can go there and do stuff. And it's privately owned. The other three, the last cantonment, George Washington's last cantonment, Knox's headquarters, and Washington's last headquarters at the Hasbrook House in Newburgh, are all state run, so they can't use live flame. But we have, oh, take care, Greg. Good luck this weekend. Ooh, I'm running over an hour. I need to go get a shower too. I'm pretty disgusting. I hate it, but I gotta run. Glad I finally called you. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad it's not an internet that's falling apart. What is that? Oh yeah, it's privately owned, so we can build fires in there and use live candlelight. So I've been planting some trees over there and things like that. Cleaned up some of the brush in the back. It's just a really, really cool place to hang out. Well, you know what? With that, since I seem to be chasing everybody away with my conversation, that's like watching paint dry. Cecilia, I want to thank you for hanging out. I'm glad you've been here the whole time, and it was nice having a one-on-one with you earlier, and I sure hope you feel better. All right, everybody. Ray, you take damn good care of yourself, man. Prayers, lots of prayers. I'm rooting for you down here. Get better soon. I think I'm going to call it a night, guys. And since I got some time, I think I'm going to go hunting tomorrow and hopefully, or Sunday, and hopefully I'll get a video out to all of you. We'll see what's going on in the woods. Thanks, everybody, for coming in, and have a great night. You got it, Ray. I know you're trying. Take it easy. God bless you. Good night, everyone.